What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. I am your host, Marisol, and I have
the one and only producer Rob here in the background.
Rob GTV.
Yes, ma'am.
Our producer. And don't forget, this podcast is brought to you by HERR Apparel. Guys, go and check out our website. We've got a ton of new summer stuff added. And then this weekend, I will be at Flea at Silver Street, Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2000 Edward Street is the address. So guys, stop by, shop local. I believe there will be over 100 local vendors there. It is a 2-day event. I believe there's a $5 fee to get in. But it's been curated very well, which I think everyone will enjoy because you'll see a little bit of everything in there. So stop by and say hello and let me know that you listened to this on this podcast. And then I will give you 10% off your purchase. So
Nice.
Hello. Before we get started, as always, y'all know I like to start with a positive quote. Always go with the choice that scares you the most because that's the one that is going to help you grow.
I totally agree.
Totally agree, because I say that to say I have it's official, decided to homeschool.
Oh.
So there is no ifs or buts about it. So we do have our family interview next week, and it is the university model for Second Baptist. So if she's accepted to this program, she will be going to school 2 days, homeschools 3 days. So I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Fridays is a free day anyway for I think even at school or something like that. And then as they progress and get older, they'll be at school 3 times a week, which would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You homeschool 2 days, but we're not there yet. So we're just in the interviewing process. So we will be interviewed as a family, and it'll only be Pete and I, which should be interesting because I have no idea what they're going to ask. And so I'm excited about that. But should she not be accepted to this program for whatever reason, we're still going to go ahead and homeschool. So I already decided which program I'm going to use. I've been doing, a lot of research, a lot of folding clothes while watching a bunch of homeschooling videos on YouTube and moms and different moms. I was listening to a podcast on the way here from Poplitics about homeschooling and how she began to homeschool. And it's quite interesting because did you know that in Oregon, they passed a law to where you no longer have to be proficient in math, English, or reading to graduate?
No, I didn't, but badass students like me might have appreciated that 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Imagine graduating not knowing how to read. And so
Wow.
So get this, so which makes a great point. Why would they not want you to be excelling by the time you graduate?
Do we want real answers or conspiratorial answers?
No, like real answers.
If you're asking me, I would say, and this for a lot of places I think applies just in general. I'm painting with a broad brush that I don't really think that they want you to be too proficient, because the less proficient and able that you are, the more reliant you are on big systems, big government, big industry.
Exactly the reason for that. What other reason is there? No,
Right.
There is no conspiracy. That is the reason.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how to read a document well, you don't know what you're signing, you can't comprehend words.
Yeah.
You don't know how to do basic math, then how will you survive in the world? And the fact that was even passed is like, holy smokes. I can't even believe that was something that was actually passed.
Because we've talked about this a lot over the past couple of years. And I'll go through these phases. I think we all do it, where we learn about, or we try to learn about a specific topic like for a while, right? And I think this is yours right now, school. And I was doing that a couple of times in and out. And I remember reading about the titans of industry during the Industrial Revolution and times like that, where when we developed a school system, they actually got, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong here, but they got those big titans together, like the Rockefellers and the Carnegies, and they asked if we were to develop a system, basically like an aggregator for people, what would your industry, what kind of people do you want? So they kind of they use that as the template for how to basically develop schools so that we had good workers, we had good this and that, and they followed directions and they stayed in the factories and they did, which is some of these are good qualities to have, but it's the same system from then to now. Like nothing has changed.
Yeah. Juan's going to be pissed at me because he's told me which book to buy, but technically public schools were created because they didn't want to support the Catholic schools. So that's kind of where it all began as well. And so they basically wanted to be able to regulate what was being taught because religion was not one that they wanted in the school. So I hear, I haven't read about it, to be honest with you, but I was told that Greg Abbott signed something where you no longer see a counselor when you're going through something at school. You will now see some sort of priest. And so it's funny because I was having this conversation with someone and they were upset because they're not obviously Catholic. So they felt like, what are children going to do? They're not going to feel safe to go talk to someone. Should they, you know what I'm saying, be talking to someone who is not of their faith, right? Because you feel like they might encourage you to do something else or give you some kind of different teaching. I don't know. I find that funny because people are so offended by this religion situation, right? That's going to be supposedly, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't even looked it up. They supposedly said it's on his desk. I don't know. I don't know that I see that happening. But right now with everything happening.
Is it the worst?
I mean, I just don't know. I wouldn't want for religion to be pushed on Penny without my consent. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't want her to go confess to a priest either. Just like I wouldn't want for a teacher to tell my children that sometimes you may like something through the booty hole.
Oh, you saw that video? She's been, I believe, put on...
She was fired.
Oh, was she fired? I thought she was put on suspension.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, make it all make sense. If you're going to be mad about religion being taught or the 10 Commandments being posted in the schools, then also be mad about this agenda that they're trying to push, which is celebrating Pride, which, by the way, happy Pride, y'all.
Hey, happy Pride Month. Also Men's Mental Health Month, I believe.
Oh, well, that's a good one. See, I'm down for that one.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I saw a video.
I think a lot of men could use some mental health and women.
Yeah,
but men, I think more, you're not allowed to have breakdowns,
Right. Well, we could just say humans, though. I think humans in general need some fucking mental care.
Yeah, I think especially more so now.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about people are so irate about religion being put back into the school, but y'all aren't mad about booty hole conversations. Y'all aren't mad about transitioning. Y'all aren't mad about teaching someone who may feel like a boy today and then tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? You're automatically pushing the agenda of transitioning at such a young age. Okay. And again, I always use my own kids as an example because I love to reiterate about how children don't know what they want. They're too young. What is it? The frontal lobe is not even fully developed. I think for men, it's 25.
Yeah.
It's super late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you would think that it's done at a certain age, but it's still not even closed. And we're going to still allow this craziness. You see what I'm saying? This craziness of telling your kid to, go ahead and transition. Penny just last week, 1 week she was telling me she wanted a rainbow and unicorn party.
All right.
And so I told Pete, I said, listen, we're going to have to go with the pastel unicorn party because, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this rainbow itch, but she wanted the traditional rainbow because she has no idea that the traditional rainbow
has been commandeered.
Well, I also heard this morning, because we kind of did this on Cafecito. We didn't talk about this on Cafecito time, but
from the Bible.
Well, yes, but they said that the LGBTQ rainbow has 6 lines and the biblical is 7. And they said, let that marinate, because 6.
Does it? Funny. It's true. That doesn't count with the whole trans one, though, right? That's different. It's we're not talking about the same rainbow. The same.
I think it's just the LGBTQ, not the plus. I think the plus starts going into the new rainbow.
Oh, the new groups.
Man, I don't even know.
Bro,
it's so hard to keep
Bustin was
up.
playing this game on his tablet. It's like one of those like Angry Birds style games. Just kind of plays in the car when we're driving somewhere. And when we got home, he's like, "Hey, check this out!" Right? And it's a fun little game. And then how you can like in Roblox, you can buy all kinds of stuff, skins and whatever. So he's like, "Hey, look, you can decorate your." It was like a cart, right? You can decorate your cart with your country's flag. So he showed me all the flags, and he's like, "Oh, look, Japan, USA, Mexico," and he keeps scrolling. And then they had fun ones like Marvel, and they had like a unicorn, and then they had the trans and the gay flag as an option. I was like, he didn't realize, he didn't notice, he didn't stop on it.
Know.
He doesn't know. But he just like he kept scrolling, and I was like, go back up. What was that one over there? Oh, is that Wolverine? And it's like right next to Wolverine. I'm like, what are we doing? What 9-year-old, 8-year-old is like, I want the trans flag for my cart?
Because a parent told them. Told them. So you see what I'm saying? So that was one. Then Sunny was watching Belly Beto. And she's like, I think I want a Belly Beto birthday party again. I said, you already had that when you turned 2. She said, I know, but I think I want it again. I was like, okay, I literally gave away all your stuff now from that. I don't know where we're going to find that. Grandma's going to have to go to Reynosa and get you the same stuff. I don't know. Well, she wants to be Megan for Halloween. Do you know who Megan is? Have you seen the AI movie, the doll, the Megan movie that I told you about?
Yeah.
Okay. So because she watches YouTube, there's a bunch of shorts and reels that people post on there where they're redoing the Megan dance, because there's a dance that she does, almost like, Wednesday type thing. So she watches these YouTubers that'll do Megan versus Wednesday, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, or they're fighting each other and competing. And so she's obsessed. She's never seen the movie, but she's seen plenty of trailers of Megan, so she knows all about it. She can literally verbatim tell you the script, what Katie is going to say. And
this is a movie, right?
This is a movie. And I'm going to go into more of that in a second, because when she did all this, and I just listened to this podcast this morning, made me think. But anyway, so I bought her the costume because she's going to be for Halloween. And so it came in. So she hadn't wanted to wear it because she wanted to wait till Halloween, right? So I said, you want to try it on? I said, because it looks kind of big, and I'm thinking we're going to have to get it tailored because, she's short. And so she's like, okay, and it is long. And then she says, Mom, I kind of really feel like the robot right now. She is so in tune with characters when she wants to act or, do whatever, to where she's like that. It was funny. And she would tell me like, okay, press my hand, because that's how you turn her on the movie. She's like, there's no button. It's just internally, but she still looks human. Press my hand so I can turn on, And so I'm like, all right. So I turned her on, and she's like, now you're going to say this line, because that's what Katie's aunt says. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm going to talk, and I'm going to be Megan. I was like, all right. So we're doing this whole thing, role playing. And then I said, well, do you want to have a Megan birthday party? Because we also visited Wednesday, and she really thought that would be cool, because then we could all dress like the Addams family, right? So she wanted that. And then she's now going through the Megan phase where everything is Megan, right? You're not going to believe this, but they actually have Megan birthday, like
it's that big
bags, of a thing? Balloons, cake toppers, cupcake toppers. I was like in shock. Like I couldn't believe they really had that said, because she was like, well, what if my birthday was Megan? And I said, girl, they don't have anything birthday related. And I said, you know what? Let me check on Amazon. She said, can you check at Amazon? Because she knows. I always say, I'm going to look on Amazon is what I say. And she goes, can you check on Amazon? I said, all right, we're going to check, and you're going to see there's nothing for this robot, So she's like, okay. So I check, and it's like balloons and everything. And I said, well, do you want to have this? She goes, I think I do. So she wants to do the Megan birthday party now. Okay.
Okay.
So then I'm like, I was telling Pete about it, right? And then she's wanting me to take pictures of her, like looking like mean. And, you know, she's got her sword behind her body. Because remember, guys, she asked for a sword for Christmas this past year. All right. And a bow and arrow. Remember these random?
Is that grandma's doing, or who gave it to her?
Grandma bought the bow and arrow. I didn't buy anything last year. Pretty much I bought her like stationary stuff because my mom and my sister do. They're the only two guys. So
yeah,
I pretty much could ask my mom, not joking, like, could you pay her tuition for school? And my mom would be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
can buy her a car?
Yeah, because they're the only two that we have. My sister doesn't have kids on my side, not on not on Chingo's side. But anyway, so you know, I was taking pictures of her and she was so excited. Then I went upstairs and I said, look, she really wants this birthday party now, so I'm thinking like we're gonna go with this, whatever. I said, and then I was there and I was like, do you think parents are going to criticize us for having, he's like, you're concerned about that? It's like, you're not even one to ever be like concerned. I'm like, well, they're going to probably think that we've let her watch this movie, which we haven't. And he's like, okay. And if we did, who cares? We're the parents. And then I'm like, and then they're going to think that, oh, y'all are Christians, but you're all letting her watch this demonic doll. They're like, she's an AI robot. And I was just, okay. He goes, you just literally have gone through every scenario in your head that these parents are going to do. And for all you know, they don't even know who Megan is.
Yeah.
So who cares? And I said, all right, you're right. So hopefully she'll still want to do the Megan birthday party in a month because her birthday's a month away because she might change her mind. So all that to say, your kid cannot honestly and truly believe that they're in another body right now, unless they're a grown adult. At that point, I don't give a rat's ass what you do to yourself because you've made the adult decision to make this change to your body. And as an adult, you're entitled to make whatever decision, whether good or bad.
Have you seen the video of I don't know how old it is, but it's like of the 5th grade teacher on Dr. Phil, who's he's in the audience-ish. I don't know if he's part of the panel, but he's talking to the transitioners or whatever. And he's talking about, you know, like cisgender versus, you know, men can menstruate. And the guy's like, no, they can't. And he was a super, super nice guy. Like he started off the way I would start off with people like this. Although probably if they kept at it, I'd probably get a little bit more escalated, you know. But he's like, you can identify as whatever you want. But you can't just say that because you are a man that you're a man and that now you're menstruating and whatever. You're just a woman dressed up like a man. It was so like just nonchalant.
It's silly.
You should have seen their face though. They were literally like what I imagine Megan, like if she like tweaked out, she'd be like a robot. This is exactly what she looked like. I was like, man, there's something wrong with her.
Yeah, it's just it just is never going to make sense. Israel joined us for church this Sunday and we were kind of talking about, he was just saying how he liked Second Baptist. I said, I know, I like it too. And I just kind of was telling him my journey as to like, you know, when you grow up in the church, for some reason, you just kind of always like have this piece of you that wants to go back to the church. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, that's kind of how I always felt. Maybe because I was raised in it, maybe because of my parents' testimony of why they became Christians. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I was always trying to find a church. I found my home church. And he enjoyed it. And we were talking about growing up because were you ever embarrassed about being Pentecostal? Because he was also raised Pentecostal. I said, actually, I was not. I was never embarrassed. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it. If anything, I felt that other religions were wrong. Does that make sense? And like their religions were the ones that were the other religions were the ones that were like going to go to hell. Because that's seriously what I kind of interpreted at my church, right? No one ever told me that. As a kid, though, that's just what I interpreted. That
as a kid, were you looking at other kids like, you're going to hell?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, man, I don't know about you, but
feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you should probably come to my church.
You're gonna be burning up.
But then there's people who thought, and I never got in arguments about church. I never got in arguments about religion because it's just there's no point. And also, it says it in the Bible. There's no need to be arguing about it, you know. So when people would say, oh, are you that church that speaks in tongues, right? Because they're so quick to do, that's the first thing they want to do, you know. Are you that church that screams and falls on the ground and faints? So it's like, okay, are y'all done? You know what I'm saying? It was just so dumb to me. And if you didn't grow up in it, of course you find it weird.
Yeah.
Just like the first time I attended a Catholic church, I found it weird that you have these kids wiping the priest's mouth as he drinks from the cup. And I'm not really sure what the cup has. What does the cup have? Do you know?
Like
at the Catholic church, what does the priest drink? I don't know.
It's supposed to symbolize the blood, right?
Wine or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably cranberry juice.
And then it's like they're wiping his mouth, and I'm just like, ew, what is happening here? You know? And my cousin's walking in, holding the cross, and then I'm so confused because I've never seen this. I'm staying at my aunt's house for the summer, and I'm just like, hey, what is he doing? Because for us, it is a form of respect when you go to the altar. You know what I'm saying? You don't just get to go to the altar because you just want to be the altar. You know what I'm saying? Like, go up there. So I was like, what is he doing? I was like, why is he? He's like, she was like, kind of like this. He's an altar boy. Like, this is what they do. And I just like didn't understand the sitting down, the standing up, I'm sorry, not sitting down, kneeling, standing up, kneeling, standing up. And then the repetition, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have obviously memorized whatever it was they were saying to each other.
How old were you?
So maybe about 8, 9.
Oh yeah, that's a super confusing time.
Yeah, so I was like 9. No more than 10. I'll tell you that, because that was the first time my mom let me stay at my aunt's for the summer. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted to stay in Florida. And so I just really didn't understand it. And I was just very uncomfortable, and I did not want to kneel and stand up because I felt like I was cheating on my religion, and I was like, you were making me believe in something that I don't believe in.
Did you do it?
No.
You just sat there with your arms crossed?
I just sat there and listened. You know what I'm saying? And so when my mom and my aunt had a conversation, my mom was just like, you got to understand, if she's never seen this or been around it, so how is she supposed? She's like, well, you should try to expose her to that. She goes, why? We're not that religion. What am I going to do? Just go randomly find a Catholic church and have her sitting there to observe, like, so that she can understand? She's like, no, like I'm not going to do that to her. But I think that, and I still feel this way, it's like, whatever religion you want to be, go be it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, to be honest with you. And I'm also not going to argue with you. If you think my religion is weird, cool. I probably think your religion is weird too. So we're just never going to agree on that, right? And I think that's how life is, right? We never agree on anything. But for some reason, currently, in this day and age, we have to agree.
Yeah.
Or you're a what?
You're an other, basically. You're an other. You're the enemy.
So that's where I want for life to make sense again. And whenever I've talked about here in the past about, if you're not awake, you need to wake up as to what's happening. But I want you just to sit back, because if you're listening to me, and according to my analytics, most of y'all are about 20 and no more than 54 is what my thing says, right? But y'all are about late 20s and early 50s, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe not so much early 30s. That's what you are, right?
Yeah, 33.
Okay. You guys may not remember that far back, obviously, because I've got almost 10 years on you. Mm-hmm. But nothing was shoved down your throat like that. Nothing there. And it was honestly like taboo. Like, how dare you do that? You know what I'm saying? We don't believe what you believe in, so don't push it on our children, right? And everybody was kind of fighting for stuff like that. But right now, it's like, you're looked at such a bad person. Should you not want to vaccinate your child? Should you not want to agree with them participating in the LGBTQ pride parades that they're having in elementary schools, right? Yeah. Should you not agree with maybe a student transitioning? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, the way their education system is going, right? Should you not agree with the books that are being used right now? You're every name in the book. You're the weirdo. You're the one that's causing the problem, and you are the problem, basically, right? Yeah. You are the problem. Well, we can't have no change in the world. Listen, some change just does not need to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that just need to stay 1950. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't need to change it.
Louder for the people in the back.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just does not need to happen. It just needs to stay the way it is. And we need to fix facts, we need to fix our education system, right? And this is why I'm going to say this. So as I notice that my child really, really enjoys drawing, painting, she really loves the arts. Okay. She loves to, I do not, for anybody who's kind of judgy and will say like, you shouldn't have your child making YouTube videos. I want you to know that my child will wake me up just to tell me what video she'd like to record today, right now. Get up. I need you to pull out your phone and record me. Record me is what she says. Record me, Mom. So I've never said to her, let's record you. She's on her own, has decided this is what she likes. She's also upset that no other YouTubers know who she is, but yet they know each other. Okay. So I just want y'all to know that that's never been pushed on her. It's never been like, get up, you need to make a video today. It's all her doing, from making up a story about her dolly having chicken pox, to playing hide and seek, to whatever it is that you see on her YouTube channel. It was literally thought up by her, not by my husband and I. All we did is help her out. So I was listening to this podcast, and one of the things the mom said was that she realized that we are told, I don't want to be like a lot of parents, like, I don't want to be with my effing kids all day long. Who wants to be with their kids all day long? Right? That's the whole thing. Like, I need y'all to go get daycare, go to school so they can take care of you, and I can go to do whatever I need to do, or go to work, or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. 2, parents aren't going to be able to teach children, right? That's the whole thing, right? You don't have the degree to teach your child, right? That's why teachers went to college, to learn how to teach your children phonics, ABCs, basic math, right? So according to the world, we're not fit as parents to do any of this. BS. Sorry. There are amazing teachers out there that I'm sure are currently frustrated with how things are happening right now. Mm-hmm. And because they need their job too, right? They're kind of just stuck, having to agree with things they don't agree with. Or they're probably one of those teachers who are fighting back and saying, like Jalissa, who decided to bounce and say, I will no longer be a part of this because I don't believe in it and I don't want it shoved down my throat, and I'm having to follow this they-them situation or anything like that. So she said that, you know how immediately if your child is hyper in class, if they're not paying attention, if they fidget, if they can't focus, your child automatically is, ADHD or whatever it is that it's called when they're that age. And so we need to get them on Ritalin immediately so that they can focus in school. Well, every child has a different way of learning. Okay. So you may be a child that doesn't stay still, that needs to fidget, that needs a fidget something, but you're able to take everything in while you're sitting there fidgeting with whatever it is. Some may not like to sit at a desk like this all day long, right? To listen to what you're saying. You may like sitting on the damn floor, or you may like to lay down. Like, there's so many ways to teach, right? We've created this sit at your desk, look straight to the board, and you need to pay attention. And that's the only way you can learn, right? Some kids are visual learners. They're not a booklet. Here's your booklet. Go read and do that.
By the way, Dawn and I were up till almost 1 a.m. We're having this exact same conversation last night about the twins.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't do that because, so she talked about that. Think about this. There's never been one teacher that said, wow, this kid really likes to draw. I wonder if this child's ever thought about maybe getting to, what is that called? Graphic designing, or, whatever art, like, what I'm saying, making there is for you. And then it maybe encourage you and tell your parents, hey, you know what? I've kind of noticed that your child really enjoys, drawing. You might want to consider, putting them in like some kind of art class, or finding some kind of like art program for them. Something like that. No one's going to do that, because why? Teachers have 30 kids in their class. You think they have time to figure out every way there is for your child to learn? No, of course not. Because one, they ain't got time. And two, they're there to teach a curriculum and move and bounce, and that's it. So when I was listening to the podcast and when she said that, I said, that is so insane because it makes total sense. See, at Penny's school that she just left, they would sit on the rug, right? But you'd have one kid maybe sitting on the lap of the assistant teacher. You had another one sitting at their desk. Like they're kind of by the, and when, here's me. And when I would drop off Penny and I would see like, they weren't all sitting there. If somebody was doing something else, one was laying down. I was like, gosh, these kids must not listen. No, it's just that child wants to lay down. Then that's, and they're paying attention. They're repeating their A, and they were repeating what the teacher was saying. They just weren't sitting like this on the rug at circle time. Yeah. They were just paying attention, kind of doing what they wanted to do. There's two little girls sitting, playing with their hair while they're playing with each other's hair while the teacher is teaching. Judging me because, I've only been to public school, right? I don't think that was like structure. Now I was like, as I was listening to this podcast and I was listening to all the things that are so ritual in school, I was realizing that I was pretty much programmed to think that is the right way because that's what I did, and that's not the way it works. See, she also said that she was so excited when she decided she was going to pull her child out of school and start homeschooling. She bought desk, turned like the dining area into like a whole classroom thing. And then she started to realize that one of her kids, she said the desk lasted 3 months. She sold them all.